I'm Duncan Green. Welcome to Gym Hacks, your daily 10-minute dose of tips, techniques and innovations to make your fitness club stand out, more fun to run and more profitable. 600 seconds of takeaways that will make a difference. Our aim is to provide the very best free content on the web for you gym owners and operators. If you like our content, register for our free 6-week exponential growth formula program. We're helping fitness club professionals generate the maximum revenues possible. Register below to enroll on the next program, which starts on the 1st of next month. Once you've registered, we'll send you the logins automatically. Also, check out our unique implementation service. This is a 100% done-for-you program of effective fitness club marketing, and it's supported by the strongest guarantees anywhere in our sector. Click below for details on this incredible service. But right now, let's get back to today's gym hack. To start with, let's look at what your customers are after. There's 4 key motivators. Obviously, when they join your club, one of the either spoken about or secret goals is a longed for result. Possibly weight loss, possibly muscle gain. Certainly they will have something that in their psyche is longed for, and they'll be looking for you to deliver that benefit. The second thing is they want to learn new skills. It's a general motivator. This is not unique to fitness, and it's been confirmed by all sorts of behavioral studies over the years. People love a feeling of competence and of acquiring expertise. They will also, in the first few weeks of their membership term, have an absolute need and urge to feel control in your environment. And that control is really understanding what's going on, feeling part of it. And the 4th key motivator is this social acceptance. To summarize, you have 8 major things to achieve in this onboarding process. And for the purpose of this program, let's assume that it's going to take 6 weeks, a 42-day program. And we'll touch a little bit on why the time is important a little bit later on. So this is the first 6 weeks, what you've got to achieve with your new members. Certainly, you need to make sure you understand everything that you need to in order to provide the right solution. Somehow you need to interview them, whether that's a survey, a telephone call, a follow-up from the salesperson. Ideally, whatever in the conversion process, whatever data and information was gleaned then, that should be passed on to the fitness team. And hence, again, it's a good reason why we should have some shared CRM system or shared documents, so that when members meet the fitness team, perhaps for the first time, it's not a completely cold meeting, that the fitness team have inherited some information from the salesperson, can start the relationship from a position of some knowledge. Regardless of how successful the attraction and conversion processes were, there's still a requirement in order to reinforce the sale. And that requires then, as part of the onboarding, an indoctrination that the customer has made a good decision. Now, what that means in real terms is you need to do things that are going to resonate with your new member and make them feel good about the decision they've made. One of the things you must avoid is long periods of non-communication between the club and the member once the membership has been established. And it's very important that you fuel that space between the customer starting exercising, probably meeting your staff via an induction for the first time, and the actual signing of the membership. It's really important that you fill that space with communications, emails, texts, phone calls, ideally from the manager, maybe a letter from the manager, anything that just makes that customer feel more part of what's going on. Now, obviously, the third in is to introduce the customer to the nature of the products that you've got available on their onboarding system. And we'll touch on those in a minute. And once you've decided on what they're going to be offered, they've got to be inducted into it. And we're going to talk later on about the theories of learning and the implications of that for induction. And certainly then there is a requirement on instruction. In addition to the pure exercise format, there's a real instruction that needs to happen with your online platforms, on your websites and your booking platforms, on where everything is, how to take advantage, what sort of things are coming up, where to find things. All of those are part of the instructional side of the onboarding, and they need to be thought through and put into a process. So once you have all that, you need to create an opportunity to inspire the member. Create reward schemes, create areas where they can be recognized for something beneficial that makes them feel part of the club, which takes us into integration, making them feel part of the club. And obviously, all of those things are going to require information, and that information has got to be put about in a variety of different media. Your new member program largely is going to focus on these three main ingredients: and nutrition, fitness, and support and accountability. And within each of those three circles, you're going to create different opportunities for your new members that you think are going to, one, make it a very magnetic offering and people will be attracted to the club because you do that, and two, very seamless, so that when people join, they're going to get access to these products and they're going to feel great about it. Let's talk about what we now know about what new members want. We've done some surveys over the years, and I would commend to you to run quarterly member survey. And one of the things that we ask active members, no matter when they joined, is what services would have helped them when they first joined. Now, you can see that these are two disparate sites, nearly 700 responses to it, but you'll see that there's a huge amount of congruency, similarity between the results. Now, these are two completely different clubs, different geographics, different demographics, but interestingly, of the options that we gave them, they responded in almost equal measures. The first and highest scoring result was a personalized program created by a trainer. And nearly 60% of club members felt that that would be beneficial when they first joined. Almost equal highest scoring are the two bottom questions, which are follow-up sessions to check that you've understood everything from your first practical. So that means that if customers take your programming session and don't understand something about what they were told, or they're slightly baffled by some of the theories or the information, that they get that opportunity to take follow-up sessions to improve their competence. And a third of members have asked for that. Now, interestingly, another third of members would be interested in one-to-one sessions with a personal trainer. Current commercial uptake of personal training is much, much lower than that. So that's interesting. Although 30% of your customers are interested in it, between 5 and 10% are taking it at the moment on average. So there's some things going wrong with either the marketing or the prep or the presentation of personal training, by and large, in fitness. And the second question up there, which got a quarter of the members agreeing to it and suggesting they would like it, was a program created by a trainer in a group session. Now, what's interesting about that is that I was told for many years that everybody wanted one-to-one. And what's interesting is 1 in 4 people are more than happy to have a group session when their program's put together. Now, obviously, there are huge economies of scale for clubs to be able to offer that service. So there you go. There are the 4 main services that customers have told us they would like. Now, let's look at customers in more detail. And we touched on this in previous modules. All of your members sit somewhere on this grid, depending on 2 things: the level of self-motivation, and most active members are going to be high and most new members are going to be high. But you'll have inactive members perhaps who are either lowly self-motivated or are on the fringe of becoming inactive because their motivation is waning. Now, the second axis on the ground, on the floor there, on the x-axis, is their level of fitness club experience. And really that means the ability of a customer to self-manage their whole visit, from knowing where everything is to understanding the exercise machines, knowing how to program themselves, how to measure whether the program's working, how to make alterations to the program once they start to see progress or regression, all of those things. And obviously, the more higher up the club experience scale you are, the less service interventions then the club needs. So essentially, you have four types of customer. You have number ones, and these are very few in numbers, but they are dragged screaming by members who are elsewhere on this grid. They're not really motivated to do it. It's because their partner has insisted that they join with them, and they're beginners. So one, they don't care and they don't know, and they're probably going to become inactive very soon. The majority of the beginners that you see will be number twos, which are low in experience of fitness club life, but higher motivation. There is a desired goal, which is front and center at that particular moment, but they're the new child on the block. They know nothing about anything, and they are going to need to survive, to settle in, and to reinforce their buying decision. You need to educate them. Once you've educated them, you push them across down the fitness club experience continuum until they're number threes, which is where they match their motivation levels high with their level of experience. They understand lots more now. They've been on your induction. They understand the equipment. They know what the program is entitled to do. They know how to measure whether the program's working. So they're totally self-sufficient at that point. However, one of the things that happen is you get customer service issues. Hopefully you're making those a minimum. Two, there are breaks in the usage pattern. That's more common. Illness, holidays, seasonal breaks, Christmas, that sort of thing. And that's when people's pattern of usage changes and they then become inactive and they find it very difficult to get back to the club. And that's when you need to have strategies in there to reactivate them. And we're going to talk more about that in our retention module. But there will be people coming in to your new member onboarding program who are very experienced users, have been members of club lots of times, lots of clubs, maybe your club several times, but they struggle with motivation. And so you're going to need to provide them with the tools and the services in order to keep their motivation high. Otherwise, you're going to have to replace them. Thanks ever so much for listening. See you next time.